Hi guys, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make the Angel Stitch Slouch Hat. And usually I'll use a little bit more than one skein if it's a thicker yarn like here. And if it's kind of a thinner, softer yarn like this, I usually have enough to make the whole thing. So you really only need one skein of yarn. Skein, sorry. And also a 5mm hook or a size H hook. Also, if you have a marker, and that's it, and a tapestry needle, that's it, because you need to sew in the top of your hat. So grab those items and let's get started. So what you need to do to start off is to chain 70. So chain 70 loosely, don't make it so tight. And like I said, this yarn I'm using is a bit thicker, but it's just in hopes that you can see the stitches and everything better. So just chain 70, and I will see you back here in a moment. Okay, I only chained 30, but for your hat, you need to chain 70. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm only going to chain 30 just so I can show you what you need to do next. So what you do is you lay your chain flat. Make sure you can follow it down with your thumb like this, just to make sure that the chain is not twisted. And when you get to the end, you want to put your hook into the single loop at the top, leaving you 2 loops on the other side. And then whenever you turn your chain like this to form your ring, your 2 loops will end up at the top. Now you're going to do is just slip stitch in that beginning chain. Now you have 2 stitches on the top of the first chain. Now for the next is you want to single crochet in the stitch to the left, or if you're left-handed, to the right of the beginning stitch. So just next to, you'll go under the top loop only, and you'll single crochet. And I'm going to hide my tail as I go. So you're going to do a single crochet, and you're going to continue using just that top loop and single crochet in each stitch around. And you began with 70, but when you single crochet into the next stitch here, you'll have 69 at the end. You should have 69 stitches at the end of this round. So just continue to single crochet all the way around, and I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, I just came up to the very last stitch. This is where we slip stitched into, and this is our very first single crochet of the round. When you've got your ring done, you want to lay it flat and make sure that it's all going one direction. You don't want any twist in this ring. And what you'll do is you'll skip this single crochet, the slip stitch, and go right into the first single crochet of the round. So I'm going to skip this stitch and single crochet, going under both loops, and do a single crochet. And count your stitches. Make sure that you have 69. I'm going to place my marker, marking the beginning of my round, my very first stitch of the round. So for round 2 of our rim, you want to single crochet into the first 7, and you single crocheted in your first single crochet of the round, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So single crochet 7, and then you want to do a single crochet decrease. And how you do that is you go into the next stitch, you pull up a loop, and then you go into the following stitch and pull up a loop. Now you have loops coming from 2 stitches, and then you yarn over and you pull through all 3 loops. And then you want to repeat that all the way around. Single crochet 7, and then do 1 single crochet decrease. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I want to do my single crochet decrease, just like that. And you want to repeat that all the way around. Single crochet 7, and then do a single crochet decrease, and you'll want to repeat that until you get back up to your marker here, your first stitch of the round. Okay, I'm back up to my first stitch of the round, and for round 3 you're going to be repeating what you did for round 2. So if you single crochet all the way up to the end and you have 7 stitches, then the next stitch do a decrease. I started with 30 stitches just for this tutorial, so I have 3 single crochets leading up to my end. So I need to single crochet 4 more before I do my single crochet decrease. So just continue on like you did last time. The last row. Single crochet 7, and then do a single crochet decrease. And when you get back to almost the end of your row, count your stitches. You need to stop decreasing once you have 58 stitches. And once you reach 58 stitches, just single crochet the rest of the round. Okay, I just finished up round 3. Make sure you have 58 stitches. Don't forget to count, it's very important. Now, if you're making this hat for a man and 58 stitches is going to be too tight around his head, you should check. And if he lives with you or you're near him, check to see if 58 stitches would be too tight, because if it is, this is the time that you can adjust it to fit the person. But the good thing about doing the rim the way we are now is because even if later on you find out that your hat is too tight, you can loosen it some. So, and if you are short on the yarn that you used, you can just do 1 row less of, you can just do 4 for the band instead of 5. So, once you get to the end of round 3, and you have your 58 stitches or whatever stitches that you have, then for the next 2 rounds, we're making the size of the band now. So you can go as thick as you want once you have the right size. So you could do 2 more rows, making it 5 rows of a rim, or do another one and add 6 or 7. But you're going to be doing a row of single crochets over the other side of the chain here, which will give you 6 rows total for the rim. So just keep that in mind when you're deciding how thick you want. It's automatically going to be 6 rows. So for this row, which is round 4, and also the next round, you're just going to be putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around. Okay, when you've reached the last stitch on round 5, you want to slip stitch in the beginning stitch of the round, and then chain 1. And now what I like to do to give my hat a nice finish is I like to do the reverse single crochet or the crab stitch. You can call it either one. And what it is you're going to be doing like a single crochet, like you normally would. Pull up a loop, pull through both loops. The only difference is you're going to be working the opposite direction. So you're going to be going back to the stitches that you just made. and it changes your hook and the way you grab the yarn slightly, so it just takes time to get used to. What you want to do is go into the next stitch like you normally would if you were going this direction, and then grab and pull some yarn through that stitch. And now you can see you have 2 loops on your hook, and then you just yarn over and pull through those 2 loops like you would a normal single crochet. The only difference, just to get used to grabbing the yarn, it's easy enough to put your hook inside the next stitch, and then I'm holding my yarn like I usually do. Just grab it to the side and pull it through. Just pull it up like this, and then pull through 2. And you'll want to continue to do this with each stitch all the way around. And if you feel like your hat is kind of getting a kind of a warped, kind of stretched look on the end and not staying uniform with just this pretty border around it, you can prevent that from happening if you just skip a stitch every so often. If you feel like it's starting to get that stretched look, then just skip a stitch. Maybe do 5 reverse single crochets normally in each stitch, and then on the 6th one, maybe you just skip 1 stitch and then work it into the next. So maybe do that every, 5, and then 6th one, skip a stitch, and it will reduce your rim slightly and prevent it from getting that stretched look. I just want to show you what the stitch looks like. You can see it has kind of a bumpy look going. And this will be all the way around the hat. It'll give it a nice look so that you can't actually see the stitches anymore. So continue that all the way around, and when you get to the last stitch, which would be your beginning stitch here, I'll show you how to finish the round. Okay, now I just did my last reverse single crochet here, and this was my very first, where I slip stitch into, chained 1, and then I did my first crab stitch. So you want to slip stitch in this beginning stitch. So you're just going to go into the next stitch, grab up some yarn, pull up, slip stitch, then you'll chain 1 and cut your yarn. Cut it long enough to where you can work in your tail with a tapestry needle, because you don't want to have any tails sticking out the front of the hat where it's the most noticeable, because people are wearing it on their head. So what I do is I thread my tapestry needle, and I turn where the back is facing me, and I just follow down my crab stitches, 4 or 5 crab stitches, and I'll pull my yarn through. And you can pull it to tighten this area here in between, and then just slightly tug it. And then you want to cut any excess yarn that you have. Now, like I told you before, we're going to now, this is the bottom, this is our original chain. We're now going to be working in the other side of the chain. So get your needle, your hook, and do your slip knot again. And it doesn't matter where you start. I would suggest starting somewhere away from here, because you don't want to keep, going and beginning in the same spot, because then you'll have a line. So anytime that you can begin somewhere else. I'm going to start to the right, because I crochet, to the left. But if you're a lefty, then you can start on this side and then go this direction. But I'm just wanting to stay on the other side of my marker where I know I'm going to be working. So So you want to insert your hook going under one loop only. You're only going to be working through the single loop. And you want to do a single crochet attachment. So you're just going to pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through both those loops. And that's a single crochet attachment. And it also counts as your first single crochet. So I'm moving my tail to the back here. And now again, I'm going through only one of the loops on the top like that. I'm doing a single crochet. And you want to work one single crochet going through those top loops only, all the way around. Okay, when you get to your very last 2 stitches of the round, you want to do a single crochet decrease because you have 70 stitches and you should have 69. So count your stitches, make sure you have 69. And when you're ready, let's start the angel stitch. What you want to do is go in through the very first stitch, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and go into the third stitch, pull up a loop. So you've gone through one and the next 3 stitches and pulled up a loop. You have 4 loops on your hook. Now you want to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. Then chain 1. And when you chain 1, you're creating a stitch on top. And this is the stitch we're going to be using now. You want to use this stitch and put 3 single crochets inside this top stitch. So this will be 1, 2, and 3. And that completes your angel stitch. You just go right into the next stitch. You can see that these 3 stitches have already been worked. So you just go right into the next stitch. Insert your hook, pull up a loop. Do this to the next 2 stitches too. Once you have a loop pulled up into 3 stitches, 4 loops on the hook, you will yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. Then chain 1 to create the stitch at the top, and then in this stitch we'll be putting 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So you want to continue that all the way around. And when you get back up to the beginning here, I recommend putting a marker to mark your first stitch of the round, because it's not that you'll lose your place when you're actually working your project. It's more for later on when you need to count. Because as you can see here, this is my beginning marker, but my actual end of my row is here. Back up just a bit. See? It goes diagonally. So it's important that you mark your first stitch, because it's going to help you when you count later on. You need to have an equal amount of stitches running this row as in this row, and then you know that that was your last stitch of the round. You have to have equal. So continue that around, and I will show you how to start your next row. And from now on, it will be one continuous row. In the round, this will be the only time that you'll need a slip stitch. This is the beginning stitch. I'm going to go right here above my marker and do a slip stitch. Gently do your slip stitch, because you're just trying to close up this hole here to prevent there being such a space. Now I'm going to chain one just to give myself a step up. Now from now on, like I said, it'll be a continuous round, so you won't need the slip stitch anymore. Every angel stitch, the top of it, you put 3 single crochets inside of it. So let me see on this one. Maybe you can see better. Yeah, it's bigger. See, you have 3 single crochets inside of it. You're going to be skipping this first single crochet, and you're going to be using the other 2 single crochets and this big space in between the 2 angel stitches. See, so you'll be using this one, and this one. Those are the 3 stitches you'll be using to make your angel stitch this round. You will be skipping the first single crochet on the top of your angel stitches. So I just want to show you on this one real quick, just because it's easier to see. So you're going to be going into this one, and this one. You just do it like you did as normal. You're going to pull up a loop, go into the next one, pull up a loop, and then go into that big space in between, pull up a loop. And then you'll just grab your yarn and pull through all 4 loops. Then you'll chain 1 as normal, which makes that top section where you will put your single crochets in. So I'm going to do it on this hat. Just doing what I just showed you on the other one. Pull through all 4 loops, and then you chain 1. And then you'll do your 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then you'll just continue to do this all the way around. Again, you skip the first single crochet, go into the next single crochet, and then the next single crochet, and then the space that's in between the angel stitches. Pull through all 4 loops, chain 1, and then do your 3 single crochets working to this top stitch. And you will just continue that all the way around. And when you get right back up to here, which will be your very first stitch, you will go and use the same stitches again. You'll be skipping the first single crochet, then you'll go into this one, and then find a space here to put your last one. And then after that, it should flow evenly and regular. Every stitch will be exactly the same. You just keep doing it and keep doing it, and until your hat, as always with my slouch hats, I prefer you do it until it reaches 25 centimeters or 10 inches. If you prefer to have a longer hat, then feel free to keep going. Or if you want a shorter hat, then stop early. This is just a good recommended size. So once you get it to the right size that you like, make sure, like I told you, that you have the same amount of stitches on this row as you do on this row. And then it's time to reduce. I want to switch my colors here. Okay, when you're ready to reduce, those stitches that you were using before to make your angel stitches, you will be putting 1 single crochet in each of those stitches. You're still going to be skipping that beginning of the 3. Keep skipping that one and just put a single crochet in these 3 stitches that you were working with before. Put 1 single crochet in each of those all the way around. And you'll want to repeat this for the next 2 rows. So when you get back up here to the beginning, you want to place a marker here, that's fine. And then go through each one of your single crochets that you just did and do 1 single crochet. So you're basically doing 2 rounds of single crochet. And when you've completed that, I'll see you back here for the 3rd round of the decrease. Okay, when you come back up to the beginning of your round again, for round 3 of the reducing is you want to go in through your very first stitch and then into your next. You're going to be doing a decrease, single crochet decrease. Pull through all 3 loops. Then the very next stitch is just going to be a regular single crochet. Then you'll be repeating this for the whole round. You do 1 single crochet decrease, then you do 1 single crochet. So just repeat this all the way around. When you get back up to the beginning again, I'll show you what to do next. Remember, 1 single crochet decrease, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet decrease, 1 single crochet. Okay, we just finished the 3rd round of our decrease. And now for, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, for round 4 and 5. So just like you did here for these first 2 rounds, you just did 1 single crochet in each stitch around. This is what you're going to be doing for the next 2 rounds. So for rounds 4 and 5, just put a single crochet in each stitch around. So do this for this round, round 4, and for the next round, for round 5. And when you get back up here for round 6, I'll meet you back here. Okay, for the very last row here is going to be a decrease and single crochet row. So for this whole round, you'll do what you did before for the 3rd row. Decrease, single crochet, single crochet, then decrease, and then single crochet. So you'll be repeating this all the way around again. When you get back up to the beginning of the row, I'll show you how to finish your hat. Okay, when you come to the end of your round, you want to slip stitch into the next stitch and chain 1, then leaving yourself a long tail to be able to close up the end of your hat. Pull it through, pull it tight, and then get your tapestry needle and thread it to the end of your long tail. Then you want to turn your hat inside out. Because you really want to do your sewing on the inside of the hat. And what you're going to be doing is just going through, weaving through the stitches. So you'll insert your needle 1 stitch and pull up through the next. You're just weaving it back and forth through the stitches. Go through 1, pull up to the next. Go down through 1, pull up to the next. Just weaving back and forth through the stitches. And you want to continue this all the way around until you get back up to your beginning again. See how it's kind of bunching the hat up here? So continue until you get back up here to your first stitch, and then I'll see you back here. When you get done, you back up to the beginning stitch, pull it tight. I'm going to go through my very first stitch here, just to make sure I got it good and tight. Okay, then you have one side of the hole. Just going to open it so you can see. You've got one side of the hole here and then the other. You want to put your needle through this side to the other. You want to make sure that you close that hole up. So once you put it through one side to the other, don't pull your yarn all the way. Leave this little loop here. Then you want to stick your needle through this loop and pull it through. You're going to create a knot. I'm going to turn my hat. I'm going to do it from this side to the other again. Keep your thumb here if you want, just to prevent it from going all the way. Slip it through that new loop, pull it tight. Okay, I did that twice. Now for the third time, go through one side of the hat and the other like you did before. This time, I'm going to use my loop to tie a couple of knots. So this is my loop. 1 and 2. Now what I like to do to hide my loop is I'll stick my needle through it like this and then just spin it around the loop just to twist your yarn to where it's no longer a loop anymore. Then I go down into my hat just like you were doing before, from one side to the next, and then I'm going to feed my needle just a little bit down to hide my tail. So I went through one side to the other like I did normally, except I just continued to feed it to hide my tail. Then I'm going to pull it. Then I tug my hat a little bit, leaving just a tiny bit of a tail here. I'll cut it. And you can turn your hat inside out. Remove any markers if you have it. And that's it. That is how you make the Angel Stitch Slouch Hat. I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have, please don't forget to like and share this video. It really helps me out so much. And please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.